Yo, what's up, everybody? Hitmanbk. Oh, wait, no, it's Brian. I keep forgetting this is not my YouTube videos. This is something different. What's up, everybody? It's Brian. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Freddie. We did miss last week, whatever. We're still producing. We're going to catch up. We have some ideas. We also have a full layout now of how these podcasts are going to go, which I think is going to be really helpful, just to give you all a hint of what that looks like. Every time you come in here, you'll always get the intro. You're always going to get some dad advice. We're then going to go into what's happening in gaming, our OG thoughts, which is some actual opinions, because damn it, we're called the opinionated gamers. And then what we have upcoming and close. Freddie, what do you think about all that? Are you excited? I'm excited.
I am excited, man. I missed the pod. I was sick. You were sick. We got a lot going on. So, yes, excited.
We were.
Like structure. I think structure moves to pod. Maybe we'll even get to almost an hour. I mean, we'll see.
Everybody wants an hour, and I'm like, you are greedy people. I don't want to give you an hour of my life.
It's a lot.
This is a lot. So we're going to get right into it. Today, we're going to cover Diablo, Lords of the Fallen thoughts, Microsoft, Activision, Pete Hines retiring, and more. So sit back, relax, make sure you slap that subscribe button, follow. We did eclipse 1,000 since the last one. It's been really incredible to see that. Maybe we didn't even do a pod because I've gotten lazy, because now I'm like, all right, I did it. I hit 1,000. I can now move on with my life. But no. I want to hit 100,000. So
yeah,
that's the next goal. That way it takes a long time. We can just sit on it. But make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment wherever you are. We thank you so much for all your time. Find the pod. It's on Spotify. It's on iHeart. It's everywhere. Go watch. Let's get into this.
She's looking at pictures, but
she is looking at pictures. Hey, we're back. We were talking about pictures because my daughter was supposed to be sleeping, Freddie, but she is not. She's reading books right now in her bed.
But then I had to clarify that she's not reading; she's looking at pictures.
So yes, she is looking at pictures. But that's a good segue into this dad thing. So we always want to come out of break. Honestly, I want to hit y'all with some dad stuff because we're both dads, and I want to do that every time because there's so much info we can give you because we're incredible dads. And I have 2 kids. Sure. So first off, I don't know. I know I just sent this to you, so you might not have had a lot of time to think about it. But for our dad advice today, I was thinking, like, when should you let kids get into gaming? I feel like that's an interesting one because so many people talk about screen time too. Gaming is screen time. And what's a good age? And I'm going to even say that counts for educational games. So, and if I'm saying that, I let CNN. No,
because
pull that off the table.
Games are it's a little different, man. Because
that's true.
They're learning something. Gaming is a release, right? It's an enjoyment thing.
So we're gonna go with like just straight gaming.
Yes.
Okay.
Like especially on your okay. So I'll start because I have it's a thing for me, and I'm trying to make sure. It's hard, right? Because kids want to be held all the time.
Yes.
They want your attention all the time.
And they see you gaming.
So, right. But it's also so easy just to give them a phone and tell them to play Angry Birds or whatever that is.
That's true. Right? Yes. The ones you just tap.
Right. And so that way, you can do your grocery shopping or whatever. But man, that's just not good for them. That's really how ADD kind of starts, right? So that's kind of where I am. But then I also look at it like I have ADD and I can do stuff that it's like magic.
Yeah. I have like a superhuman ability. So does Sabrina play any games? She's almost 1. So probably not.
She's almost 1. No, right now we barely give her screen time. Right now we're giving her there's a show called Little Bear.
I don't know, Little Bear. I like Bluey. I'm a Bluey guy.
So Little Bear is a Canadian animated show that was hand drawn, and it's very it doesn't have any suggestive anything. It's just like a bear and his friends. There's like a duck and whatever.
Is this Netflix? Where is this at?
It's on my Plex.
Oh,
yes.
I see you.
And it was like a public TV show, right?
Okay.
But we put that on when we were like on long trips. If she's like losing her mind, she loves Little Bear. I think even now the music of Little
It's
Bear
comforting.
suits her. Yeah. So that's kind of where that's the extent that I let her. I don't even let her watch me play video games. I don't.
No, I never
Now,
see her in there with you, so or hear her. So
yeah, I'm just trying to do good. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff out there, and I feel like let's just let her be a
all right.
baby
So what
for a
age?
while.
What age? What age is she gonna touch a game?
It's hard to
You
tell.
don't know.
I would say maybe like legitimate gaming, like console gaming or PC gaming or whatever. Probably like 9, 8, 9, legitimate gaming, and maybe a little younger on the phone stuff. But uh, I don't know. It depends, man. It depends on your
4.
kid too.
It was 4. Summer was 4.
Yeah, you're
She
a bad
started.
dad, so it's
She
right.
started. Nah, she doesn't. She doesn't even do screen time though. She pulls herself up of it after like an hour. But when she was 4, she learned how to play Paw Patrol on the Xbox. Super simple game, as well as Mario Kart on Nintendo Switch, which is
Yeah,
so
and
much
again,
fun playing Mario Kart with Summer. She absolutely loves it.
I don't know, right? My baby's a kid. She's like a baby, right? She's only 1, so I we'll see what happens in 3 years, right? That's
See,
kind of
so you're a lot like me then. The answer is really interest. For mine, it was like when if she shows interest, genuine interest in wanting to learn how to play the game, then I will let her play the game. Because before, like when she was 3, she once showed interest in like Sonic, but I had to do everything because she was like, oh, I can't. How do you do this? And I was like, done. You're not playing this game. If you can't play the game, you're not going to play it. Like if you can't learn how to play it. So she would play things like, she would still play educational stuff. Like we would play, there's a bunch of Elmo games on PC. If you go like Elmo games on PBS and they're like brush Elmo's teeth and you do all these things. So she did that for a while. But when she was like 4, she legit learned and can now play like Sonic, Mario Kart, and things like that. Especially Nintendo Switch is the easiest because it's pretty simple controls. And even then, it's like 30 minutes. We only do like 30 minutes. I don't let her go for a long. Even though I game all the time and I let my kids see me game. I'm very much like nope, and then like but nope. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm the adult. I can do whatever I want. You can go play. So that's kind of where I sat.
Well, also your situation is a little different, right? Your kids are a little older.
Yeah, she's 5. Sienna's almost 2.
So Sabrina might get all the stuff that I tell her. We're not going to do this and that, and then once number 2 comes, you're like, or I don't care. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard to kind of gauge just because it's like you want to be the best dad, but also you're super busy. You have a personal life. You have several different careers.
I look at it as
right?
you just can't judge yourself. I don't think it's healthy to put a child in front of a screen all day long, but I also think that screen time is unavoidable, and as long as you're doing stuff that like matches with your alignment on like what you want to get out of it, and it's not just so you can do something. So I never put Summer in front of something so I could do something. And I think that's the key. I think it was always something we did together. I have maybe a couple of times, but I usually try to avoid being like, here's a video game, leave me alone.
Well, let me ask you this, right? So, like, the first entry point for video games is usually a cell phone, right? That's kind of what it is right now. So, what's your timetable for giving?
I give like Sienna hasn't had a phone yet. They don't get phones. I mean, like
her own phone.
Oh, she's not getting her own phone until she's a teenager.
Okay.
So that's a whole different question, because and this people are always, I think, going to go back and forth, and I might have to run here in a second if Sienna tries to crawl out of this crib. Cell phone usage to me is completely different. Like letting someone borrow your iPad or your cell phone so they can play whatever. Like there's a bunch of everything on the cell phones for me are all educational. It's like you use your fingers to dig up a dinosaur and figure out what the dinosaur is. Learn your ABCs, or they're watching things. The only app, actually, they don't even have access to YouTube because I hate YouTube. It advertises to kids and everything. Matter of fact, I hate Peacock because Peacock does that. We've gone off the rails, but I'm going to finish this sentence. Like, cause if you ask Summer where oh, what's on whatever the hell's on Peacock, I forget. She'll be like, only on Peacock Kids, and she like repeats the dang advertisement back to me. So advertisements like sink into your children's heads. So I hate YouTube. I hate YouTube Kids because it feeds them all that crap. So on all of our devices, because you know iPhones go dead in like 2 years. So I have all the old iPhones, and I let the kids use those iPhones to play their games. But the only thing that's on there is actually PBS, and it's all the PBS shows and PBS games because they're all like for learning. And Summer started being able to use that at like 2, and Sienna's probably going to start here pretty soon as well.
Okay.
And that was for like the car. Those were for like you said, like times where they're just going like crazy and you're like, hey, you want to watch Blippi? Or you want to do something? Like here's the phone.
Yeah, again, I think it's an always develop. You know, you're always developing your own criteria. I just don't.
Yeah.
The thing too is like I don't really look at the experts because I realize a lot of these experts don't have any kids.
Right.
Right? They're like, we're experts because we've studied kids. Like, you don't have a kid. So, like,
yeah,
I'm not going to trust your judgment. I want to see you pull your hair out because they won't stop screaming and tell me what are you going to do. So,
I want to make sure she's not crying. You might hear some fun, sad music. She's not. But all of that is to say, yes, no cell phones till they're teenagers because of... Guess, Freddie.
No cell phones because of like social media.
Social media.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no social media.
I agree with Matthew McConaughey on that. You need to have a firm self of your own identity before I allow my children to get on. Because the minute they get a cell phone, they're going to want to get on Instagram, and all that's going to do is they're going to shape their identity around a false sense of all the crap that's on there. So not until the kids learn who they are as people will I let them share their lives with other people.
Well, yeah, and it needs to be, if anything, it needs to be a shared account. I don't believe in that stuff until, because man, like if you're not confident in yourself,
it'll destroy you. Destroy you.
Kids are. I'm going to be straight up. Kids are terrible people. Whenever they have no filter, they will destroy you every chance they get with their words. And so that's I
kids
remember
are
as a
mean.
kid, man. Oh, dude, so mean. They don't even understand how mean it is. If you said what the kids are saying in to real people, like adults, if I said that to you, it's like it's yeah. So no, and also the amount of like the suicide and stuff,
it's crazy.
hurting and all that stuff is
it's
nuts.
all it's all social media. A lot of it is just social media driven, but
no, 100%. Yeah. So anyways,
so yes, this is gaming. We went on a rant there, but I think that kind of like naturally fell into that. So next on our list is what's happening in gaming, and I'm gonna run and put her passing and put her to bed. So while I do that though, Freddie, tell the people, and I'm gonna be listening. So if you try to talk bad about me, I'll hear you.
Just get out of here. All right. So
tell the people about Microsoft.
Before we talk about Microsoft, obviously we'll start with Microsoft, but obviously Microsoft had their official offer accepted. The FCC can't do nothing. The CMA approved the deal. So if Activision, Blizzard, King is officially part of Microsoft, which is great for Microsoft, great for Game Pass, not great for Sony. And so that being said, there are reports now that Sony has to do something, right? There's reports that they are looking to do an acquisition, and the rumor mill is saying something in the scale of 2K, or Rockstar, etc. That's a pretty expensive purchase for Sony. It's about $29 billion. The other side of it is they're going to go heavy into their multimedia platforms, right? They own a lot of IPs and TV, and so I think that's the other side of it is what is going to happen to Sony? Because I think Sony obviously has a phenomenal some of the best IPs in the world, but there's a few and far between. And now Microsoft has 35 studios.
Yeah, they have a ton.
And I don't know if this is probably breaking news. I don't know if anybody knows. I've been reading this. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but Microsoft has purchased. This is what the rumor says. Purchased all the IP rights from Paramount.
Wait, what? Like
Yes.
studios, like movies?
Like all the IPs. So basically, they can use any of the IPs that Paramount owns to make
Which
video
is what?
games.
That's like Paw Patrol and stuff. I think I forget.
I mean, that's like Star
I went
Trek.
straight
That's
kids. I'm like,
yeah.
that's like Paw Patrol, right? I don't even know what adult shows are. By the way, there she is, y'all. There's Sienna. She decided she wasn't sleeping, so she's gonna be back there. I like how I came back and I was like Avatar blue.
I mean, that's your whole room is blue.
I know, but my camera like turned me full blue. Well, that's interesting. I couldn't imagine there being another acquisition right now, though, with Activision just finishing. I feel like.
I mean, Sony probably needs to do something. I mean, they have great studios, but if you have 35 studios on the Microsoft side,
Yeah,
obviously Sony's gonna crush. I mean, they're crushing at this.
I mean, oh wait, I'm sorry. I think I misheard you. Then you're saying Sony bought Paramount.
No.
Oh.
So Sony's gonna have to do it. Basically, I'm talking about the.
No, Sony's gonna need to
Microsoft-
do it. Yeah, I got you now.
Right, and the rumor mill is like it's gonna be Rockstar 2K. That's the
No way.
likelihood is.
There's no way.
The likelihood. What's what I'm saying? The likelihood is very low, but that's what it would have to be
Like
on that scale.
GTA. I mean, that's probably more expensive purchase than Activision.
No, not even close. $29 billion is what the price is for the entire Take-Two organization, including all their IPs.
How much was Activision?
69 billion.
Oh, okay. Well, Call of Duty, right? Nothing's bigger than Call of Duty.
No, King is bigger than Call of Duty. The
What
mobile
is?
app itself,
Oh, that's
King.
right. The mobile games. I always forget there was a big mobile department there. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just looking. So Paramount owns the IPs to like the Addams Family, Beverly Hills Cop, Friday the 13th, G.I. Joe, The Godfather, Indiana Jones,
we'll see if that.
Iron Man.
Well, I mean, they
Minority
obviously already have the Indiana Jones IP. So
Right.
interesting.
Rugrats, Spy Kids, SpongeBob, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Top Gun.
Okay.
And then a bunch of other stuff. So I mean, that's the rumor mill, but I feel like that's right up their alley. I think they want to have as many IPs.
I just feel like there's no way that hits news anytime soon, though. I mean, like Activision just got purchased.
Yeah, but it's not a purchase. It's you're basically buying the rights. That's not going to be, that doesn't have to go through any kind of additional.
This is like Sony with Spider-Man or Wolverine.
Yes, right. But they're buying all their IPs. They
right.
have the
Gotcha.
exclusive rights to all their IPs. So, we'll see how that plays out. I feel like Sony's gonna do something. Either they're gonna go hard into the multimedia, like what they
should
did
do.
with,
Warner Brothers. They're gonna buy an IP. Like go Warner Brothers.
Can't.
I don't see them. Oh, you can't.
Well, I mean, they could, but they would have to buy the IP and the studios.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And so that might be too rich.
I don't know who they get then. Like they can't afford From Software. Plus, there's no way in hell From Software goes exclusive.
I would say Square Enix. I would say like.
I would say too, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
Final Fantasy's a big IP, but that's it.
Yeah,
Square Enix doesn't have anything. They already got rid of all of their other stuff. Like they don't, right? I'm pretty sure Square Enix no longer owns like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like all the people who made that, are gone.
Gone. They're with the whatever the something group, whatever the group.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Embracer, right?
Embracer Group, yeah.
Sony should have stepped up and bought that when they had the chance, because like those are good studios.
Tomb Raider was phenomenal.
Crystal Dynamics and all those guys.
Crystal Dynamics is fantastic, right?
And it literally fit Sony brand, because they were like
100%
single player narrative based games. I don't know why they didn't buy that. That was a misstep.
I mean, it's like Tomb Raider was basically the female version of
Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah, exactly. And I thought Uncharted. I love Uncharted. I love that franchise.
So what do you think about the Microsoft thing now that it's done? Happy?
I can't. I mean, exhausted, but yeah,
Exhausted,
happy, I
long
guess.
time.
You know,
So we
it's
won't
been
see
2 years.
anything. Obviously, Phil Spencer came and said like, look, this just happened, so everybody needs to
Yeah.
chill. Like things on Game Pass
Yeah.
aren't going to just turn over anytime soon. We'll probably won't see new Call of Duties till into 2024 hitting Game Pass, maybe 2025. I feel like I did like how Phil Spencer immediately came out and said there's parity now. Like that's for sure. So you can forgo any exclusives when they're talking Call of Duty. Call of Duty will have parity on all consoles. There'll be no exclusive for PlayStation or anything.
Which makes a ton of sense, right? I mean, it's
No, but that
here's
stuff
the
is so
thing.
stupid. Like, I'll get it on
but here's the
PlayStation
thing,
and get
though.
this gun. It's like Destiny did that, and it was like, this is the dumbest thing on the planet.
Yeah, but people do that. Hey,
I know,
they
yeah.
tell you, hey, Brian, download the premium version and get this gun
Yeah.
in the beta. Remember that? I'm like, how'd you
Delicious
get the gun?
red gun.
but I think the way it's gonna be out, I mean, it's genius, right? Because they'll put Call of Duty on Game Pass and then make PlayStation pay $79 or $60
Right.
or seven, whatever it is, right? And it's a win-win, right? I mean, did you see that I just saw that Starfield was the #1 game.
Oh yeah, in September, even on Game
in
Pass.
September, even on Game Pass. And it's so the crazy number is it's sold nearly twice as much as Final Fantasy.
And did it really?
Yes.
Final Fantasy is
Again-
very niche though, but I mean, yeah.
Well, but also it was, it's on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah,
on
no,
PC
it's
and
incredible.
Xbox.
That just also shows how
Like,
many
that's-
people aren't on Game Pass.
Or the other side of it, my brother, for example, has a Steam Deck and wanted to play.
Just bought it on Steam so he could play on his deck.
Exactly. So like, I think that's the other side of it. I think it'd be probably a bad idea for Steam to add Game Pass to.
You can put Game Pass on the Steam Deck, but
Yeah.
it's a pain.
I did it for him, and he hated it. 'Cause
Yeah, it's a pain.
It's not a flawless transition, right? It's
The
like
only thing
the
that actually
controls.
works on Steam Deck pretty well is putting Blizzard Store, so I can play Diablo on my Steam Deck. 'Cause it's pretty
Well, that's
easy
what
to
I
put the
did.
Blizzard Store on it.
I did all that stuff on it. I had Game Pass, the Blizzard Store, but the problem is the control. You have to kind of mess with the controls.
For
switching
Game
from
Pass,
desktop.
but not for Blizzard.
I did it for both. I mean, it works really well, but like you have to switch the controls on the whatever. It doesn't matter. My brother's not super technical, so he's like, "Nah,
Right.
I'm just gonna go back."
I
to
mean,
the
yes,
Steam."
ease of use. You're just like, I mean, even I was like, do I really want to do all this just to play Diablo, or just buy Diablo on Steam now and play it that way? And I was like, I'm not buying Diablo again, so I put the Blizzard Store on there.
I mean, I played with it. I mean, for me, it worked fine because
Yeah.
it's just the. But I'm a
But
tech-
yes, so it's done. I mean, I'm excited to see what comes out of that. So we'll see. That'll be a big we'll see. But it's congratulations to Microsoft for getting the deal done.
Well, and you know what? The one thing I'm excited about out of this whole thing is what Phil Spencer said. He said that he's going to go to the studios, all of them, and talk to them, and basically tell them like, "Hey, I'm here to support you guys. I don't want you guys to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah.
We have a plethora of IP, and I'm gonna you guys can choose what IPs you guys want to work on."
Same thing he did with
And-
Bethesda.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not necessarily. Bethesda already has a bunch of games, in development, right? But I'm just saying, generally, all the studios now have access to all the IPs.
Right.
So, like for example, the Dynamic. Who makes the good Call of Duty?
Infinity Ward.
Infinity Ward can be like, hey, Infinity Ward, do you want to get a crack at Halo? Right.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
That would be just. I mean, that would really,
Master
give-
Chief with Call of Duty movement. Yes, please.
Ooh.
Hello.
Oh,
It's
hello.
Freddie. You get to make your appearance in this pod.
Hello.
Maybe after it's done, I can get you to go to sleep. She's very happy to be home with me today, though.
Well, that's good. Look at that hair.
Oh, I know, dude. She's almost 2 in December. Well, that leads me
crazy.
then right into with Activision and all of that. Like Blizzard obviously picked up 2, and Diablo. I just poked your eye. My bad. Diablo is out. New season 2 stuff came out this week, so it's in the pod. As we're a little behind. By the way, y'all, just so you know, after this one, we'll be back to kind of being a week ahead, so things won't be like as relevant. But anyways, I just feel like that's important to say. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, but before you jump ahead, we want to talk about a few reviews that came out. Just put it to rest, and we move on.
We do?
So Yes. It says obviously news and reviews.
Well, yeah, but what reviews are we talking about?
Spider or
No, we don't
not.
talk about Spider-Man. I haven't gotten to play it yet.
I mean, all right, fine. All right, we'll keep that for the next spot. Fine.
But I mean,
fine,
you could talk about it. It's good reviews. I mean, 164 plus reviewers is all 8 and above. I mean, congratulations, Spider-Man. Did it again.
Yeah, it was at a 92 for a while, and it just dipped under. It's at 89 right now.
I mean,
yeah,
it's more Spider-Man. It's weird to see people complain. Look, we'll go into a little bit of Spider-Man. Here's my thought. I haven't played it yet, but I played a lot of Batman Arkham series, which some people compared this game to, and that's where they compared, especially because well, I mean, I think it's reasonable. Both games and Arkham did. Where it's not fair to me is the first Batman game wasn't open world, right? And then the second Batman game was, and that was obviously really defining. But I do agree with comparing the open worlds to that. The Batman open world just feels fantastic. It feels alive. You want to do the side missions and all of that. And I can understand people's opinions on how they made Spider-Man 2's world bigger, but they didn't do anything with it. That is a big. I haven't played it, but from what I've heard, that's a big negative for it, and that is a big sad. I mean, if it's just more of what was in Spider-Man 1, that's fine. I mean, it makes sense because Peter Parker takes photos and solves crimes, but there's clearly a more creative way to do that they didn't really tackle, which is why the game is not getting as highly reviews as it was the first time. But I think it is not okay to just be like, well, it's more Spider-Man. Well, Batman was more Batman, and everybody loved that.
Hold on. Okay, let's be completely reasonable here. From Batman 1 to Batman 3, the 3 games, the overall mechanics, the feel, the look was different. The story was.
The mechanics were the exact same. Same fighting mechanics, same ability. From 1, yeah, I've replayed all 3 recently. They're all. That combat style was defined by Batman, and then literally used throughout all 3 games with barely any iteration. The biggest change was the car in 3, which was actually a failure.
What I was saying is, if you actually played, the original games, mechanics were not nearly as good. They did an update and basically did a copy and paste across all 3 games. That's if you played it recently, it might have tainted your.
Either way, there was no. In that respect, too, there wasn't anywhere to go with Spider-Man's combat. It was perfect. There was literally nothing to change.
Right, but I'm not saying that combat. I'm just saying. So here's the way that I look at it. Right, Batman is on the ground. Right, you're fighting on the ground. You do go up in the sky and stuff occasionally with the. Oh
yeah, you fly around,
whatever. But it's not. It's as Spider-Man, you're always in the air. So I think the way they approached it is they don't have to necessarily put as much effort in the underworld.
Well, no, right. Spider-Man as a thing was good. The web swinging, the fighting, it was in. I mean, so it's weird to just be like, it's more Spider-Man. It's well, I mean, of course it is, because they nailed it. And then the big change obviously is Venom, because how do you change it? You have to add it, which is smart to add Venom, because you got to add some sort of way of doing it. Which, imagine, the thing is, this game, I think maybe it still gets the same reviews. You got my thumb. Maybe it still gets the same reviews, but I actually think it gets higher reviews if Miles Morales DLC never existed. Because then all of a sudden you have a whole new set of way to play with Miles, and then a whole new set Spider-Man plays with Venom. But at the end of the day, that's not what happened. Miles came out as a small DLC, a little 6-hour campaign, and people have been able to play as him. God, I don't even know how long it's been, for the last 2 years. And so, I mean, yeah, he played great too. So there wasn't a whole lot of room for growth there. But I mean, I think, again, 8 is great. So, I mean, congratulations. It's another great Spider-Man game with what is being said is one of the best stories they've told. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's gonna be, if you like Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're gonna like it.
That's really it.
That's pretty much it.
You just can't.
It's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a bunch of people well, Arkham got 94. I'm yeah, but it was also 5.
Everybody loves Batman though too. Let's just be real. Spider-Man. Dude, but I mean, I like Spider-Man, but Batman's way cooler.
Yeah, and it's darker, more gritty, and it's whatever. And I think the story is way darker too. Like the Peter Parker story, it's only dark at the very, very beginning. And
Oh
then
yeah,
the
the
rest.
thing I didn't like in the one review I saw, I'm not looking forward to, is the Mary Jane stuff. I hated that in the first game. I'm not here to
I
play
know.
Mary Jane. I don't want to play
Yep.
Mary Jane. I don't want to do something with some human who has no damn abilities. So it sucks that they kept that in the game, but
I
is
think
what it
that
is.
that's just how you make the game longer, man. I mean, I've
Yeah,
seen
that's
that
like padding.
over and over and over. Like,
Yeah.
hey, let's go ahead and sneak around and do this and do that. Like, no. But
But
anyways,
anyways,
it's
I'm
still
going to
gonna
play
be
it
good.
tomorrow. So next week I'll have my thoughts on it and we can see where all the reviews ended up landing, you know, especially with users, because the game's not out yet. This is just critics reviews. And obviously, you know, I think next week too, we'll kind of go into Sony fandom and what that looks like on Twitter and how people just lost their effing minds when Paul Tassi and certain people put
I
out
know.
reviews. It's just like, y'all, for like, maybe even next week, I'll add into the upcoming, like, when did 8 become bad? Like every year it just becomes like, well, if it's not a 9, it's not good. Last year it was like, if it wasn't an 8, it's like 7 is, that's why I hate numbering, but 7 is good. 8 is great. 9 is fantastic, and 10 is like perfect. But it's weird that if you are not like a 9 or higher now, you're a bust game, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, and then I just want to talk to the pod because you guys are all gamers. I'm just gonna directly talk to you. Don't review bomb games,
Oh
regardless of the
God,
platform. That is a childish thing to do. It's so
unhealthy
ridiculous. And it's only gonna cause more bad blood. Like, bro, it's a game. You can play it wherever you want to play it, and everybody should be happy that the game is good. Like,
and the death
I don't under,
threats. It's just like, chill out, dude.
it's
This is
it's
insane.
insane. You're spending. I was reading about this guy on Twitter just made like 15 accounts just to review bomb it. Review. This was for Starfield, right? Remember
Starfield. I was gonna say
Yeah,
Starfield probably got review bombed to hell and back because
yeah, it's like, but why? Because you didn't get to play it. Well, you have a way to play it. You don't have to go buy an Xbox. Stop being a little bee. Like,
yeah. But
anyways, that was
all
my
of that,
PSA.
yes, to come back around. Diablo Season 2. I know you're not playing
Diablo.
it. A lot of people fell off Diablo. That game obviously was not what people wanted. One reason is it live service. I think we've spoken enough on live service. There's obviously a massive live service fatigue happening. And it was not, and a lot of people who are big Diablo fans were not a fan of the live service section of Diablo 4, but Diablo 4 Season 2 is out. I am already almost level 50. I have clearly been playing it. I love it. It has addressed everything that I thought was broken with the game for the early parts of it. We'll see.
Is that the addition of the vampires?
Yeah, it's like, but not only that, there's just so many QOL things like leveling. I mean, I've only played for maybe 15, 16 hours and I'm already almost 50. Like leveling is not even that, probably maybe 8 or 10 hours. I mean, leveling is fast. Like somebody hit 100 in 25 hours. Like they have exponentially increased leveling. And I'm looking forward to seeing what tier 3 and 4 offer. I think I'm losing my voice while we're talking. Tier 3 and 4 offer because a lot of changes were done there, especially with all the new bosses. But if you were interested, if you were in it and then you kind of fell out of it, this is 100% the time to come back to Diablo because Season 2 is just a blast. The vampire powers are a blast. And this is interesting, doing a whole podcast with a child on me. And it's well worth it. So
Hashtag dad life.
Hashtag dad life. Yeah, so I know you don't probably have too much to say 'cause I don't know if you're playing it, so I'll just kind of like.
Honestly, yeah, I haven't really played it. I will say I've been looking at Lords of the Fallen.
Yes.
Generally good reviews outside of the folks that have Xboxes. I think the most recent review I was reading, this is just user review, not like, but most of the people said it's a phenomenal game until towards the end and it falls off. That's what they said.
I mean, I played a whole bunch of it. I've gotten 2 of the main pillars done, or they're called beacons. If you like Dark Souls games, you are gonna like what are you doing? If you like Dark Souls games, you're gonna like Lords of the Fallen. It's probably one of the better Souls, like especially if you like Dark Souls 1. You'll like it, but if you don't, it's brutal. It's actually not. I thought it was going to be maybe easier with the umbral mechanic, but that game's harder, and it's harder because it leans more into action then From Software, I think, and some people really like this, but like what makes From Software really, really good is it is difficult, but it's also designed in a way for you to kite enemies. It wants you to kite enemies, engage, back off. Like you never really should be fighting more than 2 or 3 guys, because that's when you get overwhelmed and you like instantly die. Whereas Lords of the Fallen is like, here's 6 people, but it's got that Dark Souls difficulty, and that can get really frustrating because it feels unfair at times when you've got like some of those mini bosses at you with like bunch of ads and no real AoE skills. And that balance for me was tough until I leaned into Umbral magic and got some abilities. Are you doing Baby Shark? And then got like some really good abilities that have helped me deal with that, because that Lords wants to be an action game. It's like an action Souls. It's like almost like a Bloodborne, but not as fast, but it's really good. I really, really like it.
Yeah. How far are you in? Do you know?
Halfway.
Yeah. So people said halfway. They love the game. At least from what I've been looking on Twitter, they love the game until the very last act, and then the last act falls off. But I don't know. I haven't played it. I watched a little bit of gameplay.
Let you know. I don't know when I'll hit that. I mean, I've got so many games I'm playing, but
right.
I'd still say like I don't do scores anyways, but I would definitely say if you're a Souls fan, Lords is well worth the pickup. I have this for next week, but I want to ask you now, because it goes in line with Diablo and Lords of the Fallen, and you may not know the answer to this.
Yeah,
Diablo fixed it already. Lords of the Fallen has not. What the hell? Why is crossplay like breaking everywhere? I mean, it's not everywhere. It obviously works on Call of Duty, but do you have any idea like why?
Well, okay. So first off, this is a new feature, right? That's been added this generation, and
was it this generation even for Call of Duty?
Yeah, Call of Duty started it last generation, but they were the one.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, they've been doing it for forever.
Yeah. So, but I think so. You have to have 2 willing parties work on it, right? So you have to have Sony wanting to make sure that their stuff works with Xbox, that their stuff works with PC, and not just that. On PC, you can buy games in different locations. You can buy it in Epic Store, you can buy it at Steam, you can buy it on Blizzard.
Blizzard app,
Blizzard Store. So like everybody has to be, all parties have to work together to make it a seamless process, because they don't all use the same type of technology, right? So like Sony doesn't necessarily use the same thing as Xbox. That's why Discord has been very popular across the gaming communities, because it defies
well, right, because all the platforms just need to figure out how to put the app on it, and then you're good. Right. And then
so like Xbox has it. I don't know, PlayStation does.
PlayStation has everybody's got it now, so now you can Discord to talk to everybody.
So much easier because it's just an app and it automatically.
So do you think? I mean, Diablo has been fixed, but do you think? Would it be fair to say like crossplay went down because they just added it to Steam and somehow that just screwed up netcode?
That's a possibility, right? Like it's one of those things where you have to build it out, test it, and then that's why QA is so important. You have to test it and make sure it doesn't break something, because maybe it's like Steam works good with other stores and Xbox, but not Sony, and that breaks the communication. So
okay, that's crazy. Because Lords of the Fallen is still not fixed. You can't crossplay in Lords of the Fallen. They said something. It launched with it. It wasn't working right. They were like, oh, there's a technical issue. We're going to fix it. And then we still don't have it. And I'm just like, what the heck? Why is this so hard to get crossplay?
Well, I mean, Lord of the Fallen has a lot of technical issues across the.
It does. That's an Unreal 5 thing. I feel like I don't know if that's an Unreal 5 thing or if that's a Unreal 5 is just so new and everybody kind of like switched into it mid development, and that's why we're seeing all these problems.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand how long it takes to make a game, to make the assets. So I'm a lot of these issues are probably because these games are built in Unreal 4, and then they took those assets and tried to rebuild it, or whatever, in Unreal 5. I think once a game is actually built from the ground up, so I'm looking forward to the coalition at the Xbox in the
Gears?
Xbox ecosystem. No, they're not just working on Gears, but they are experts.
Watch the sheep.
Watch the sheep. She wants to watch the sheep, y'all.
Hey, give me a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, is your daughter going off? Oh, it's a phone. He's got a phone call. Okay, y'all. Well, look, that's a lot of what we had. There was really what I was gonna pull into after that was to the Microsoft Activision piece that got picked up. Actually, I thought it was interesting that pretty soon after that was done, although Bethesda's been done for a while, but it's after that was done, you had Pete Hines retire from Bethesda. And I don't know if that was a push or if that was necessarily like, you never know with these things. Clearly, when leadership changes, that can adjust a lot of things. That can force a lot of people to make a lot of adjustments. It happens everywhere. And I think Pete Hines did a lot of really great things for Bethesda. I think he was one of the ones who was also vocal about the idea that Call of Duty is not going to be platform specific, but all of Bethesda's games had to be. Who knows? But I do think it's interesting how soon after Starfield, Pete Hines kind of sails away. And I think that probably just leads down to he finished off the game he wanted to make, and probably wasn't a huge fan of maybe the direction the company was going, or, was just like, what? I don't really see myself fitting within the values of this ecosystem, and decided it was time to just set sail. But I thought that was really interesting to see him leave so soon after Starfield dropped. And I have no idea if that was like a real thing or, getting pushed out. But that was really the last piece. I know Freddie walked away, but that was it. I mean, we covered almost everything here today, y'all. And I'm losing my voice. This is crazy. For the next one, which is coming up, for episode 9, what we're going to go into is I'm going to play Spider-Man. I'm going to hit up Spider-Man, and give my thoughts on that. Cause I do want to, and I want to talk about the toxicity that happens with this. Oh my God, my voice is like disappearing with, on Twitter and things like that when these big game comes out and people don't see the scores that they want to see. And we're going to go over Modern Warfare 3 beta thoughts. I played that, and what that looks like. And more. There's just more stuff. Like, there's gonna be so much stuff to cover, and especially now on this full layout. I really like the way this went. I thought it felt really smooth. And I know we hit our usual like 42 minutes, which I actually like, because if I talked for 20 more minutes, my voice is gonna be gone. But yeah, y'all, that's what we're gonna do. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the buttons, do the things. I know me and Freddie love doing this stuff. I was happy my daughter could make an appearance. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry, my voice is going out. I have been sick, which is why we didn't do this before. I thought I was better, but clearly not quite. I know he's not back, but I'm going to close this out. I thought this was great. I'd love to hear all y'all's thoughts. Likes, comment, subscribe. Comment on this. Let me know what you think about Spider-Man 2. What do you think about Diablo Season 2? What do you think about Lords of the Fallen? And what do you think? When should kids get into gaming? It's been great. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful Friday.